Well, hi everybody, and welcome to Moodle Support Theater. This is video number 4 on Moodle 2.5 at Humboldt State University. We're back in video base number 1. We've cleaned off the page, and we're going to be talking about adding a number of different activities. Activities, when we select adding an activity or resource, are going to be at the top of the page, and I'm going to begin with assignments. Put a little click in the box, come down to the bottom and choose Add, and here is our option to add an assignment. I'm going to go to the upper right hand corner and choose Expand All. We want to talk about all of the features. For assignment name, I'm just going to call it Chapter 1, and description, I'm just going to put interesting stuff to know. You'll see why in a moment. And yes, I am going to use that small box and display my description on the course page. There are some new features. One of them I just talked about. You can collapse or expand all of these things. If you don't use certain items, you don't have to open them. Also new is a cutoff date here in the availability section. This is the method you want to use if an assignment is due by a specific time. If you want it cut off at 14:25 today, go ahead and enable that and take the checkbox out of the due date. This is classroom management stuff, and we're happy to go over it with you. It is a good idea to show the description so your student is aware of the course expectations. Submission types. There's a lot going on with this. Online text is one that had been used in the past. It's kind of fallen out of favor because there's a lot of opportunities for errors. File submissions are the most common. And submission comments, this is, do you want the person uploading to have an opportunity to actually attach a note. A number of uploaded files. This gets into multiple uploads for an assignment. For example, if you're doing a research paper and you wanted to see the research topic and then the statement of thesis and then some of the bibliography materials, you can have multiple uploads, and that goes up to 20. Maximum submission size, pretty explanatory. By the way, if you just want an item in the gradebook, for example, I were to stand up and give a presentation, there's no actual material submitted, just remove the check from all of the boxes and you will create a gradebook item, but you won't actually have a physical paper or physical project turned in electronically. I'm going to reselect File Submissions. Feedback type comments are the most common. Submission settings, and this one can get a wee bit complicated, require students click the submit button. Generally you say no, they're just allowed to upload a file. That multiple upload thing is one instance when you would eventually turn on the submit button. Even though it says by clicking the submit button you are done with your project, don't turn it on till 2 days before it's due, or somebody's going to click submit thinking that they should, and you're going to be reopening the assignment. Also new, submission statements. If you have a honesty policy or something that goes with an association you belong with, well, this is where you're going to require students accept that submission statement. If the attempts are going to reopen based on grades, that or completion, that's something you can put in. Also, many professors like to put manually in case there is a problem. A student borks an upload and it has to happen a second time. Now, as we look at the group submission settings, do we want the students to submit their things in a group? If you select yes, it will allow Group A, Group B, Group C to turn their material in that fashion. Notification, this one really is intriguing. Do you want an email every time somebody turns in an assignment? Most people are going to set that one to no, and unless you want your TA to quit, you're probably not going to want to notify the graders or your student assistants. This is something you of course will determine. Grade, it goes from 1 all the way up to 300 this year, as well as a number of different things like credit, no credit. Remember, credit, no credit is actually 2 points, 1 point, and 0 points. And if you give a person half credit, they're failing. They got a 50. So what I normally do in that situation is come down to the bottom and choose 1 if I want an either yes they did it or 0 no they didn't. Grade category, that's where you're going to build your categories, and I have participation and research here. Grading method, simple direct grading is most commonly used. You may build a rubric, but you must actually build the rubric, and it calculates in a really bizarre method. The next two settings, basically leave them alone. If you feel the need to put in an ID number, call me, I'll talk you out of it. Leave the rest of that stuff alone, and restrict access is a really advanced feature. Has some goals, but this is not, and I'm going to repeat that for emphasis, this is not where you're going to want to limit the length of an activity. Okay, wow, this one got long. I'm going to come on back in a little bit and we will talk about more things in the activities section. Questions between now and then, you know where to find us. Thank you.